What's going on, party people? My name is Solomon. I am an artist, and thus I go by Solomon the Artiste. Follow me on all social media at Solomon the Artiste. SolomonTheArtiste. And yeah, follow me. Check me out. I do music. I sing. I do R&B. My music is all 90s based for the most part. And you can find me on all streaming services at Solomon the Artiste. Album is called Arbitrary Revolutionary Trophy, so please go ahead, check it out. This video that I'm doing right now is very random. And I decided to do it for a number of reasons real quick. I don't even think the video's gonna, I hope the video's not that long because uploading is crazy. But first of all, let me say this. I started filming this video at first and then I realized I forgot to put the mic on. So I pretty much had to just delete everything that I just said, which is okay because at least now I have a better idea of what it is I want to say. Additionally, what prompted me to do this video is literally a tweet. I tweeted, like I woke up yesterday, today's Thursday, I woke up yesterday and I watched episode 5 of the show Wu-Tang Clan, an American Saga. And I've been enjoying the show all along, but yesterday's episode was particularly like good, you know, just little things. Little things that I thought were just clever. And I tweeted about it. And the response from my little tweet was crazy. Like Wu-Tang Clan on Hulu itself retweeted what I said, and from there it's just been sort of a roller coaster of responses to my tweet. And from there I just was curious, like, to see what the reviews really were, because I saw like 2 or 3 and they weren't the best reviews. And so, but all of these people were like, you know, commenting how great the show is and how much they're enjoying it. So I was kind of confused as to what's going on. And so I decided to come on YouTube to see what I could find. And the first video that appeared was by this dude, Rashad G Reviews. And I didn't like watch many of his other videos. I only watched this one. But just from the way he opened the video, I'm guessing that he's, you know, hasn't been the biggest fan of films that depict black folk or yeah, you know. And I don't think it's a negative thing. I think he just has a certain taste. He has certain criteria that he'd like met, and so, you know, it is what it is. But from there, I watched other videos and looked at other reviews and whatnot, and I'm seeing that it's more negative than positive reviews. And you know, it's I just kind of felt like, let me come on here and say my little piece, because I feel like I come from a very specific place. First of all, I can honestly say that I've never really been a Wu-Tang fan like that. You know, this show is making me a fan because I think it's really well done, and I actually have to go watch the documentary so I can really get a deeper understanding of this phenomenal hip-hop group. You know, I went to watch the show. I'll be honest, I went to watch the show because I actually auditioned for the show, not for a major part, but for the part of a Jamaican. I am Jamaican. I'm legit Jamaican, you know, and so switching back and forth into the patois is natural for me. If I did have any gripes with the show, it literally would be the people that they hired to play Jamaican, because their accents are horrid, you know. But I also understand how TV works as an actor, you know, so you still need your audience to understand the patois. But come on, it could be a little better, just saying. But either way, though, the show itself, though, I think is phenomenal. And I feel like the issues that people have with the show are just comical, because they're... So, for example, one issue that somebody had, again, forgive me. First of all, I'm sitting here with breakfast in front of me, so if you see me chomping or drinking, you know, sipping on my coffee, forgive me, but it is what it is. But one of the issues that somebody had was that the let's see. Forgive me, y'all. Forgive me. So where is this thing at? I think it is. So the character, the dude that plays Rizzo, people have had issues with his complexion. Like, they literally said that he's too dark to play this role. And my question is why? Because he seems to legit be playing the role. If you've seen him in real life do interviews and whatnot, forgive me, y'all. If you've seen him in real life do interviews and whatnot, you will see that he's literally built this character. Like, he clearly did his research on, you know, the way, you know, RZA speaks and you know, carries himself and everything. He did the homework. And I don't understand why his complexion has to take away from that. Like, it takes me back to that whole thing with Lil Kim and Notori. I don't care what anybody says, Notori killed her portrayal of Lil Kim. And the only issue, and I don't even know if other people necessarily had an issue with Notori's portrayal. I think it was Lil Kim that had the issue, and her issue clearly had to do with skin color, you know. But either way though, I feel like in a show like this, where it's essentially a bio series, and the people that are being portrayed, with the exception of, you know, ODB, are here to be like, they are here to have a say in who's portraying them. You know, I feel like we have to respect that they know what they're doing. And we have to look past that visual aspect and enjoy the other visual aspects. Now, as someone who was born and raised in New York and am a child of the 90s, I can tell you for a fact that the grittiness of this show is 100% on point, you know? Because it could have been like some other 90s shows where, well, I ain't gonna mention those shows. I ain't about that life. I ain't trying to, you know, cut people. But it could have just been bad. But it's legit, you know? And then I do think the acting is pretty on point. Again, with the exception of the Jamaicans that they hire, or the people they hire to play Jamaicans. But, like, as a matter of fact, I remember, I think, Erica Alexander, like, who plays the mom, Linda Diggs, I believe the name is, she had to wait for permission from the kids, the real life kids. Well, they're not kids, obviously, but she had to wait for them to give their approval for her to portray their mom. So understand that there's a lot. It's not just casting, again, like, with the exception of the Jamaicans, but it's not just casting that has a say in who's playing who, you know? So these people are chosen, and I say this as an actor, like, you have to respect that actors are chosen to play a part because they can do it, you know? Casting directors don't hire, well, I mean, I was gonna say casting directors don't hire someone if they can't play a role, but that's a little bit of a lie. These days, you know, your Instagram following has a lot to do with you're being hired. But yeah, so there are people who, there was a review that I read where the reviewer basically described the show really as a true crime story disguised as hip-hop. And I felt like that was a straight up, that was disrespectful. It was disrespectful. I'm eating scrambled eggs, that's what I'm having for breakfast. That was straight up disrespectful on so many levels. And I think the issue that people are having is that they know who Wu-Tang is. But the issue is that this show like goes back. Like it doesn't start at like say a year or two before they become Wu-Tang. Like it's telling you what led up to how they got to that point before the record deal and all that stuff. Like there is a journey, you know. There's a reason that he went from Shotgun to Method Man, you know. And so they're giving us the opportunity to understand that and to see that play out, you know. And I think the other thing too is that we're being treated basically like it's gifted to us. We're being able to see that they weren't always this clan, so to speak, you know. They had their trials and tribulations and whatnot, and I really enjoy that. Like, forgive me, y'all. Like, I'm like trying to, like I said, I literally just decided to do this last minute, so I'm not like prepared, and I don't do reviews, so I don't know exactly what I'm doing. I think the other thing too, and I'm like looking, forgive me, I'm like literally just trying to look up stuff too. I think the other issue that people are having just reading these little things and looking at these little video clips is that people have an idea of who they think Wu-Tang is based on old interviews, I think, and definitely on, you know, the music and the videos. Because one thing about hip hop, about good hip hop, is that stories are told. You know, hip hop, like true hip hop artists, especially from the 90s, you know, and before that for sure, you know, during the 80s and whatnot, but specifically during the 90s, hip hop artists, they were storytellers, you know, and they told the stories that they knew. And again, that's why this series is so important to me, because it's literally doing what hip hop used to do and should still be doing. It's telling the story of life on the streets, in the hood. It's a story of survival, you know. It's a story of figuring out how to make it out the hood, even if you're gonna stay in the hood, if that makes sense, you know. And I feel like if you don't understand that, then you're not really a connoisseur of hip hop, basically, you know. Like, stories are told, and they're real stories about survival, real stories about running from 5-0, you know, real stories. And it's I'm just saying, you know. And I think the other thing too is that there are people who have issue with the development of characters. And my thing is, these are real people. They're not just characters that need to be developed. Their stories are being told. And it is a group, a hip-hop group of people. Some characters haven't even been introduced yet, if you really pay attention. I mean, what are we up to? Episode 5. So there's far more story to be told, and I'm certain there's going to be a season 2. There's too much story to be told, even within a 10 episode, hour long per episode series. And so I think people need to just sort of calm down and just enjoy the story. Enjoy the build-up, because there is a build-up. I can tell there's a build-up, you know. I will admit, the first episode can start off a bit slow, you know, because they're trying to, it's like, I like the fact that they didn't just sort of shove every member into your face and like within like the first whatever minutes of the first episode. but everyone just sort of was introduced slowly but surely. And I mean, I guess we'll see in the next 5 episodes, but I'm pretty sure like they're building. Like there's too many people to just sort of throw everyone. Because the reason I say all of that is because I saw that someone said that someone had an issue with goodness, what's his name? Who's playing Shotgun? Dave East. People took issue with him because they feel like he's not embodying Method Man in the way that he should. And I can kind of see that, but again, that's why I mentioned earlier that it's important to remember that this is a story that's being told from like the get-go. Like, even in interviews, if you've watched interviews with Method Man and he talks about his past and whatnot, yeah, he's had a rough past, but he's also tried to be a good citizen, if you will, you know? And that's the aspect that they're showcasing in the series thus far. Him working, I think it's at the Statue of Liberty or something, him working there and being an assistant manager and, but still on his break, you know, writing out his rhymes and whatnot in his rhyme book, you know. That's real life. That was real life then, and it's still real life for a lot of us artists today, working our real life, our survival jobs, while still trying to, you know, make sure that we pencil in time for our passion, you know. And I think people need to respect that. You know, Method Man wasn't Method Man yet. He was just Shotgun at that time, you know. And people should just honor and respect that. And I'm pretty sure as the show progresses and we get, you know, from Shotgun to Method Man, I'm pretty sure that we'll see Dave East, you know, develop into Method Man at that point. You know, people were complaining that he didn't have the grit in his voice, you know, the Method Man grit, you know. And it's like, he don't need it right now. You know, he's kind of right now in baby method. Baby method. Y'all know what I mean. He's at that point right now. You know, he has time to develop into the Method Man character, persona rather. So I feel like people need to just chill. You know, I don't know if this is really a review. It's not really a review. I guess I just understand what it is to have a passion project, and I feel like that's definitely what this is. It's a story that deserves to be told. Anyone who's truly a fan of the 90s, a fan or someone that understands New York City, especially in the 90s, because it was gritty. Like I was a kid, a little kid in the 90s, growing up in New York. But as gritty as it was, I loved it. Like looking back, like I reminisce all the time, you know? I live in Cali right now, but watching this show makes me want to go back, even though I know that the New York today is not the New York from then, you know? But it is what it is. I think, this show needs to hire me for some part, you know, because I can give you that 90s New York authenticity. I hope there's another Jamaican of some sort in this show. I'd love to play it. I just want to play Jamaican in something though, because I'm tired of seeing these terrible Jamaican accents in shows in general. You know, but it is what it is. Again, I understand the concept and whatnot. I understand the visual, because the other thing is that most people, when they're hired to play Jamaican, they usually are like super dark skinned with dreads, you know, or even if they're not super dark skinned, they have the dreads. And that is a stereotype. That's not even a Jamaican stereotype. That's a Rastafarian stereotype. And so, yeah. But what I will say though is, try to I really do want to know what someone who's like a real Wu-Tang fan has to say. Because even though like this dude says that he's like a Wu-Tang fan, I don't know if he's really a Wu-Tang fan in that sense. I don't know. Like I know that there are definitely people out there who, like, I'd love to know what SZA thinks, you know? Like, you have to be a Wu-Tang fan in order to decide that your name's gonna be SZA, like RZA and whatnot, you know? Although that's an assumption. I don't know if that's even connected. I'm pretty sure I heard her say that in an interview. That was her reason for choosing that name. But yeah, this wasn't really a review. I will say my favorite thing so far though, it was actually in this past episode 5. I'm sorry, this isn't really a spoiler per se. It was just one little line. I'm mad I said one little line. One little line where literally, why can't I remember this dude's name though? Hold up. Because I can't see their faces on this thing. And forgive me, y'all know I don't like to do edits. Is this him? Yeah. So TJ Adams, him. He says to Divine, you know, like they have a whole back and forth, and it's just the way he said it. Like he looked at him and goes, "Yo, don't you have a curfew?" Yo, I fell out. Like I legit had to rewind that one little line, like at least 3 or 4 times, because it's just the way he said it and the moment of him saying it. I was just like, yo, the disrespect. It's hilarious, but the disrespect, you know. I wouldn't disrespect somebody like that. I'm playing. I don't know why I said that. But that's the thing that I love about the show. It's you can tell that everyone really took the time. Like, it's not like they just said, okay, in the 90s, they walked like this and they dressed like this and they talked like this and that kind of thing, you know? The 90s, it's a vibe, it's a moment, it's a genre, it's a real thing. And I think that's why I really love this show, because it satisfies all the aspects of art that I love. You know, it's good acting, except the Jamaican accents. You know, it's the grittiness of New York, and it seems legit. Like, you know, if you didn't know better, you would think that it was, you know, shot during the time of New York Undercover or something. You know, the grittiness of the surroundings and the film quality and everything. It's just so, by film quality I mean the editing, you know, and whatnot. Like, it's just so, it just looks and feels like New York. And like Staten Island and all that stuff, you know. And I think people need to just respect the art being told. You know, it's a real, you know, of course, it says American Saga, so you know that there are liberties taken for the sake of show. Forgive me if you hear that. I live close to the airport. Starving artist, affordability. And so, yeah, so I think that's all I gotta say. Like, this really wasn't a review. It was more almost like a love letter to the show. Like, thank you for creating a dope show. I think it's a dope show. I love it. Like, I've been looking forward to waking up every Wednesday and watching this show, you know. Yeah, so I'm gonna end this here, because the other thing I hate about long videos is the upload time. Like, you know, I need a new computer, I think, because uploading to YouTube is just hell. But I don't know. I it's like I can't really give the. There isn't a. I feel like I'm too biased to give like a review. You know, I love too many aspects of this show. I love the 90s aspect, the New York aspect. You know, the the true story aspect, you know, the hip hop aspect. I love too much of the show to give like a fair review, but I also can speak from the viewpoint of a musical artist and from the viewpoint of an actor and say that it's well done, you know. It's well done. Like I'm jealous. Like I want to be in this show. I want a part in this show. Like give me a part in this show, Hulu. Nah, but well, no, not nah. Like hit me up. But the point I'm trying to make is it's a good show. You can't expect that the actors are gonna look exactly like their real life counterparts, you know. You can't expect them to have the same exact complexion, you know. The important thing is their delivery of the character, the delivery of their flows, you know, because that's the important thing though, too, in a show like this. You know, you can't just get up there and just start spitting your verses and whatnot. Like, you have to really understand that every rapper, for the most part, has a distinctive delivery, you know. You can't play ODB and go up there talking about I'ma do this and I'ma do that, XYZ, yo, blah blah blah. Like, that's not ODB. ODB, we knew, was that dude that was just really chill and cool, and he spit his rhymes like this, then yeah, you know, that whole thing. You know, we know him for that. We know him for being ODB. Like, there will never be another ODB, you know. And if you try to copy ODB, you're gonna get called out, because he was such a specific part and aspect of hip hop, you know. And so you gotta really pay attention to those little things that help support the big picture, you know. But yeah, I'm gonna end this here, you know. Maybe I will get more into the review aspect. Maybe I'll actually review the next episode. Like the first 5, like I really feel like if you haven't watched, I did want to talk about one other thing that I think is interesting though. And this is another thing that prompted me to do this video. I've noticed, now I don't really speak on my political views and whatnot. At the end of the day, I usually just say I'm Christian and I believe and I just love everybody, you know. But I've noticed that a lot of the people that responded to my my tweet in support of the show and loving the show are avid MAGA supporters, which shocked the mess out of me, you know. And I mean, I suppose, you know, if you are a supporter of, you know, of MAGA, then that doesn't mean that you can't enjoy a show like Wu-Tang Clan and American Saga. But at the same time, there's still that little part of me that was kind of like, why do you enjoy this show? Does it support your ideology of black folk or black youth in urban cities, so to speak, urban cities, you know? And I hate that I had that mindset or that thought process, because I feel like I really should just be happy that anyone and everyone is enjoying this show. But I guess it's the day and age that we live in. You know, I feel like I wish we all could just love each other. Like, we human beings at the end of the day. You know, we all just trying to live and survive, you know. But yeah, I'm not gonna go into great detail into that. That's just something that I thought was interesting. And yeah. I don't know what I expected this video to be. I don't think people are gonna necessarily love this video. If you've watched this far, I appreciate you, thank you. If y'all think I could give a decent review, like actual reviews on, you know, upcoming episodes, I'd be willing to do it. My apologies, y'all, the video just stopped. The camera just stopped filming mid-sentence. I don't remember exactly what I was last saying, but ultimately I know I was saying something to the effect of, if you are interested in actual like reviews, not just from the standpoint of is the show good or not good or what's wrong with the show or whatever, but from the point of view of someone who grew up in the 90s in New York City, in the grit of New York City, and who is an actor and, can give a very, I guess, maybe different or specific viewpoint, let me know. I'd be more than willing to do, a review of sorts of the following episodes, So, yeah, I'm gonna end this here. Thank you so much for watching, and God bless.